everybody. Welcome back to Guys on Sports. It's a new episode, and we're here with the next installation of our rookie series. Last week, we talked about rookie wide receivers. I almost said rookie wide receivers, and the ones that we like the most. And this week, we're going to talk about some running backs. So, PSA, we're not talking Ashton Jeanty here. I think it's understood he's the number one rookie running back. And obviously, this is going to be skewed to your dynasty leagues when we're talking about value. I'm sure the guys will mention if they like any of these guys in particular for redrafts this year. But we're focusing more on dynasty, right? I mean, is that good across the board?
Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
Anything we want to say about Ashton Jeanty before we get into it? Is there some hot takes as to what kind of year he's going to have we want to throw out there? We could start with Rocky. Is there anybody you want to compare him to? Maybe something for the people we could clip.
I mean, I think everybody, as you said, he's probably the clear 1-1 in most dynasty drafts, or at least among the rookies. The only thing that I go back to is, man, they ran the wheels off him last year. 374 attempts, over 700 and something for his college career. Almost 800, 790. So that would be the only thing, but I think you're still safe. He's a clear star, seemed to be handpicked. I think he's going to be a stud.
Ashton Jeanty, Jay.
Stud, but, I mean, the only downside maybe would be just PPR. But that's inconsequential, and as many rushing yards and touchdowns he could have.
Mark?
Yeah, I think at this point right now, I think he's being overdrafted a little bit. Obviously, he's a stud for dynasty. He's the clear 1-1 in your redraft leagues. You're paying a premium for him. You're getting him at the back end of the first round, and now I'm starting to actually see him trickle more towards the center of the first round. So picks 6, 7, 8. I think you're probably overpaying for him there. So that really puts a lot of pressure on you to come back early in that second round and get another really good back, I feel like, because it really is a roll of the dice. He's going to have a good season. I just don't know if he's going to have round one production.
That leads me to my next question, which is just a yes or no. Does he finish top 5 running backs this year? Ashton Jeanty.
We're talking overall fantasy points.
Yeah. I would say he does not. Not
Jay?
top 5.
No,
he's not top 5.
Because that's no's across the board. All right, so we're going to do this real professional. We're going to go Rocky first. Rocky, why don't you give me a running back that was drafted this year, who you like, and tell me why you like him.
Yeah, this is simple. I've mentioned this guy several times already, and he's at my favorite university. You can call me a homer if you want, but
Homer.
It's the Ohio State University, Quinshon Judkins. When he was drafted by the Browns, they actually said he will be the bell cow.
Which you called before the draft as well.
And that doesn't happen very often. Since then, they've renegotiated the contract of Jerome Ford, clearly making him expendable, and they've chosen to not re-sign Nick Chubb. Judkins has everything. 6 foot, 221 pounds, runs a 4.4 speed, which was a concern. People saw him get run down by a guy from Notre Dame, and they questioned his speed, but he's got it all. He had, and you mentioned Ashton already. If he made a decision last year to transfer to a school where they would not run the wheels off of him. His first 2 years at Ole Miss, they ran him to death. And he wanted to be a professional. That was his entire goal. So he transferred to a team where he only had 194 attempts last year compared to 374 by Jeanty. But if you took his performance and extrapolated it out, real similar to Jeanty, actually had more touchdowns, slightly less yards per average, but he caught a lot more passes and caught a lot more touchdowns. So Jeanty lands in the perfect spot. He has all the measurables, the speed needed, and he had, I think he was number 5 last year for second chance yards after contact in college football.
You mean Judkins right there?
Yeah,
Okay.
Judkins. What did I say?
So it's
Jeanty.
Judkins.
What's crazy is that just from what you said, that the Browns be brownsing apparently, because they're saying that he's an every down bell cow back, but then they went out and they drafted another running back in Dylan Sampson.
Yeah. Thunder and Lightning.
And and I get that Thunder and Lightning. I think that's an
Sonic
excellent.
and Knuckles.
Sonic and Knuckles. Again, I think it's an excellent combination, but the Browns are saying that he's a bell cow back. I don't know. I like him. I just think he really is legitimately in a timeshare. I don't know that he is going to be the bell cow.
I mean, I think they're definitely going to spell him some with Dylan. Dylan is that big play anytime, can touch a ball and he can score a touchdown. But I think Judkins is going to be a 3-down back more often than not.
He's a violent runner, so
Violent.
If you're within the 5, I think it's going to be hand out to Judkins easily. Definitely not over Sampson. I mean, Sampson got, shut down by Ohio State before they injured him, and then Judkins just got stronger. If he's sharing time, that's just what he did in college. That's going to be good for him anyways. So he's going to be healthy. So at least you have him for all season.
All right, who's your guy, Jay? And if you could move that mic just a little bit closer to your mouth, please.
Swallow it.
Edit that. I got Travion Henderson, obviously from the Ohio State University.
No.
Went to New England. I think great coaching right there. He's a 4.43. He's a burner if he gets a gap. He's 2'8", 5'10". He's fresh, splitting time.
Mark's dying over here.
He's fumbled 0 times his entire college career.
Yeah.
He's easily going to be a 3rd-down back type of guy because he can catch out of the backfield. He's patient, uses blockers. His screen pass that he got against Texas proves how he knows how to use blockers because he can just stand still, let them do the job, and then just burst through the hole. Wow. They have a running back already, New England, so I was like, this is a good spot. They have a guy named Ramada. He's in. And Ramada, you caught that. I guess. But he's not a receiving back. And last year he did 800 yards. So he's a solid 1-2 punch. So I think that's what's going to keep Travion healthy because he had early injuries, but his last 2 seasons have been pretty healthy. And I think he's definitely going to be on the field for 3rd down. And more than likely with that team, they're going to run.
So you feel like he's more of a guy you're not looking to maybe play so much this year, but kind of see what his role is over the next couple?
He's going to be a running back 2 or 3 type of guy. Great for bye weeks, more than likely.
Okay.
And then next year, he'll probably be a mainstay.
Yeah, I can see that with the Ravens. I mean, I know you want to say something, but I'm intrigued.
Wants to. It's killing him.
He's going to. I'm intrigued by, like, any of the backs kind of in that offense right now, just because I know what the mindset's going to be there. And I think if you have a guy that's halfway decent and has a role, he's probably going to be productive. But go ahead, sorry.
No, I mean, you're highlighting what I said. I mentioned Henderson a couple weeks ago, and that this is the perfect landing spot. Ramada, as you call him, Mr. Stevenson.
I think it's Ramondre.
Ramada.
I was wondering what he's talking about.
Ramondre.
I think it's Ramondre.
I've heard it both ways.
Ramada Stevenson, I like it. It's a little rolls off the tongue.
So Ramondre has the fumbling issues, right? The one thing that I don't like about Henderson is I think they might cede some of the goal line work. I think he will get vultured by Henderson on obvious, inside the 2-yard line types of carries. Other than that, Henderson is definitely going to be a 3-down back in this system. He is a pass catching back, and I likened it to the very successful years in New England when you had the James Whites, when you had the Danny Woodheads, when you had those guys that it was just the next man up. Henderson fits that role exactly. He's a back that can pass protect, which we said is going to keep him on the field all 3 downs, and he's a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. I really like him. I like his landing spots. I think it's a good pick.
All right, who you got, Mark?
I'm taking a guy that I think, again, landed up in the best possible situation in R.J. Harvey. As every year there's always a lot of hype going into the draft of those guys that just kind of seemingly pop up out of nowhere, right? Harvey was one of those guys because his tape was immeasurable. The guy's lightning fast. He's 5'8", 205, just to kind of let you know what his Tinder profile says. But he goes to a team that has no solid running back play whatsoever. But they run the ball 461 times a game, which is 13th highest in the league, right? They only have a 4.1 yard per carry average, which shows how lackluster those backs are that are currently in the system. 112 yards a game for a total of 1,900 yards rushing last year was Denver with only 12 TDs. They're in desperate need of a spark in the backfield. I think you're going to have Bo Nix in year 2, now coming in as the unquestioned starter. I think you're going to spread the field a little bit with those younger, fast receivers. And I really think that R.J. Harvey is in the prime time location to be a 3-down back and have monster PPR games.
Yeah, Rocky, I know you have like a concern about R.J. Harvey, right?
No, not a concern. I think R.J. Harvey is a tremendous back. Sean Payton has proven that he highlights and picks and is not afraid to start rookies. He did it last year with Bo Nix, who really showed out. That was a guy he went after. And the fact that he drafted RJ in the second round, this is a guy he wanted. So I don't have any real concerns. The only thing from a dynasty league, I've been running some mock dynasty drafts, and he is starting to creep up to a point where it's kind of like what you mentioned with Genty. It's a little bit worrisome. I think you're almost going to have to overdraft the guy to get him.
You are getting him in rounds 4 and 5. I do feel there is a certain sense of uncomfortability with drafting him that high, not knowing. Like, we saw what he did in college. We saw that body of work, but it's not like he was playing against the SEC. You know, it's not like he was playing prime time NFL caliber defenses. So, you know, you're really going to have to rely on the eye test of what you saw with him when he had the ball in his hand and how that will translate to the NFL. I love the situation. There's a lot of carries on the table, and there's basically no backs in Denver to do it. They let go of Javonte Williams.
Gone.
Jaleel McLaughlin, I think, is still unsigned, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got Audric Estime.
You have Estime that was there last year, and when he had the opportunity, he didn't do much with it. So I really like Harvey.
There's a rumor of Denver trading for a running back, NTN, from Jacksonville.
That'd be interesting.
That would be not only interesting, that'd be fantastic because so word is that the new Jacksonville regime is not high on ETN or Tank Bigsby, which I guess we can do an honorable mention right here off the bat. That puts Bayshell Tootin in a really, really good situation that could be a complete
That's why I had him as my sleeper.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Foreshadowing.
Possibly.
Coming up, yeah. All right,
yeah, it's you, buddy.
Yeah, my second guy, and I'm actually going to elevate this because the last two choices I had, both could be sleepers, but I feel like this guy is more, to me, he's becoming a sure thing, and that is Jaden Blue. He got love where he got drafted by Dallas. Only 2 running backs ahead of him, Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, who last year combined for only 2.42 yards per carry. Abysmal, piss poor, and I think it's his for the taking. The guy's got everything you want. His NFL comparison is a Jahmyr Gibbs, slightly bigger Jahmyr Gibbs. He's 6 foot. He weighs 200 pounds. At the combine, he ran a 4.38, which is pretty fast. But on his pro day, he ran a 4.25. Split the difference. I think he's closer to a 4.3 in the 40. That is blazing fast. This guy's got everything. He's got size. He's got speed. He's got the proper hands. The guy's I think he had 42 receptions last year out of the backfield. The only thing that you're a little bit concerned about is they didn't run him a ton in Texas last year. But when they did, he was effective. And I think in Dallas that this guy could be a stud. I just absolutely think they got 2 great receivers in Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. I like Dak Prescott, and his threat of running gives a little bit more lane for running back. So I think Blue is going to be an absolute stud.
I want to tell you just how much I love him. This is a direct quote from a 10-man best ball championship that I drafted last night. After I drafted Jadon Blue, the comment was, "Wow, period. Blue in the 7th round? Are you serious?" And that's how high I am, too, on Jadon Blue. Now, mind you, running back was starting to get slim. I decided to deploy it's a dual flex. I deployed the zero running back theory. So my first 4 picks in that draft were, who did I lead off with? I had Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Ladd McConkey, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Hurts, and then I came back for Tony Pollard, and then Jadon Blue. Bless you. Jadon Blue was my second running back taken in the 7th round. So to prove your point, Jadon Blue is definitely in a fantastic situation. Like we just said, Javonte left Denver because he couldn't get it done there. He's not going to get it done in Dallas. Miles Sanders is now the journeyman. Miles Sanders is not going to get it done. Jadon Blue is every bit of what Dallas wants in a running back, and they got their hometown boy in the Texas Longhorn.
And I think 7th round is an absolute steal. I would go much higher for this guy. I think this is a guy that by the time we're actually doing real drafts in dynasty leagues, you're going to have to go up. But I don't see a flaw other than the fact that they just didn't use him a ton last year.
Yeah.
I like the wide open offense that Dallas is going to have that's going to give them so much space. Like, they're never going to put that many guys in the box when they have 2 number 1 wide receivers. Yeah. CeeDee Lamb is, just pure stud, so they can't.
And they still have a pretty good tight end to run down the seam. Yeah, I like Dallas's offense. They've been routinely like top 5, top 6 when Dak's healthy. And they've been needing a real stud running back since Zeke decided to get fat.
I think that Dak's become Kirk Cousins, where he's underappreciated. Listen, I as a Browns fan, I take that guy every day.
Yeah, and this is going to be a high octane offense. I don't think they're a run between the tackles team anymore. Their third wide receiver is Jalen Tolbert, who's an absolute stud, can fly down the field too. Jake Ferguson, and then they have Schoonmaker. This is going to be a team that's going to put the ball in the air 40 to 50 times a game easily.
Yeah, I like that call.
Jadon Blue is a fantastic pass catcher
42
back.
receptions. I think he may have. I was trying to find another running back that had more receptions last year. I could not. Now, I didn't do an extensive survey or a search, but I think he's got to be in the top 5 or 6 for receptions of running backs.
Yeah.
Who you got, Jay?
The second one's more of a long play. He's not somebody you're probably going to start right away. The first season you draft him.
He's a marinate.
He can marinate.
He's a marinator.
You slow cook him?
Yeah, like a Giuseppe would cook him. In the nice little pot.
That's a pretty unmasculine name right there, Giuseppe, huh?
It's a callback to a great show.
Devin Neal for the Saints. He's a little slow at 4.58. I know you love your speed, but he's got a quick first step. He only fumbled 4 times his entire career. Played for Kansas, and Kansas was trash for most of our lives in college football. When he arrived on the scene, he helped elevate Kansas to respectability in the Big 12. Not obviously greatness; they didn't accomplish a ton, but
respectability.
Respectability, and for Kansas, that's quite a big feat. He's a horse. He had 1,266 yards, 16 touchdowns last year. He's played 40 straight games, so he doesn't get injured. He's going to be backing up Kamara, obviously, but he misses 2-3 games a year.
Yeah.
I was shocked. He's never ran for 1,000 yards in his career because of those injuries. He did have that one year where he's a fancy stud with 17 touchdowns.
Yeah, most of that was reception.
Yeah, and it's come down. They got no David Carr, so there's no passing until they figure out which rookie they're.
Tyler's show, man. It's the show.
Spencer
Yeah,
Rattler.
but off the bat,
show.
you got to work a guy in like that. You're not going to be passing 40 times.
You know what's crazy?
What?
It's pronounced shuck.
But it's show, right?
I know. It's spelled show. It's pronounced shuck.
Around here in this house, show.
Show me the money.
So I think his second year in, he's going to get a lot of reps. He's going to get a lot of. Sitting behind Kamara is going to be pretty solid.
Kamara's long in the tooth. You can see them parting ways soon.
He's 29.
Especially with, he's at the right age to go to a contender.
I think he turns 30 in October.
It just kind of lines up.
Let's not glaze over the fact that he's been injury prone the last couple seasons.
He's been in trouble. And I don't think that court case that he was suspended for, I don't think that's been totally solved.
That's right.
Yet.
That was it's supposed to go down this year now, I think.
Yeah, so there's a possibility that he misses some time there too.
I like the Devin Neal pick. I also think it's hilarious that you come out of the gate with the first thing you say is not blazingly fast, 4.58. You're not. It's not the greatest vote of confidence right out of the gate.
I can tell you what, that's blazing fast to me.
But I agree. I really like him. I liked him when he was at Kansas because you're not joking. He has won me some daily fantasy contests in college
that was
football
one of the ones you mentioned that you were kind of hoping that maybe Chicago took a flyer on late.
Caleb Johnson was one of them.
Ali.
He was a handful of guys that I mentioned that when they read those terrible threads, like Chicago doesn't need a running back. First off, we have a couple of really solid running backs. It was not a point of emphasis, but this running back class to me was so deep that I was okay with these 4th, 5th, 6th round guys. I was okay with the Tutons of the world. I was okay with the Neals of the world. And we did. We got our guy. We got him in the 7th round too. We got Montague from Rutgers in the 7th round. So I mean, exactly to my point.
I mean, is to your point. I thought this was one of the deepest drafts I've seen for running backs in years. I mean, even at like pick 17, 18 for running backs, I thought there was real quality there. I think this could be a draft that reconfigures who the running backs are going forward for a lot of teams.
I mean, last year's draft, Montague would have probably would have gone in the 3rd round last year, but this was a really, really deep running back class.
Yeah, because like with the Browns, back to them, they got 2 stud college running backs to be able to be on their team, and if one doesn't pan out, they still got another one that hopefully still can be, a solid 1,000-yard rusher.
Galaxy brain. All right, your turn, Mark.
All right. So I'm going to go with the 22nd overall pick in the draft. I'm going to go with Amarian Hampton. Now, I don't like the fact that Harbaugh brought in Najee Harris. That, to me, right off the bat, says that there's going to be a timeshare. But then if you sit and you really think about it, Harbaugh, who's a mastermind, obviously, Big Blue, Michigan. I mean, just obvious, Go Blue. Football brain.
Man knows his way around stone science.
Football brain. Bringing Najee into town, and you still go out with the 22nd pick and get Hampton, that speaks volumes to what he has in store for this guy. I think he's going to bring him in. He's going to ease him in the first couple of weeks. He's going to Najee do his thing because Najee's still got plenty of tread left on the tires. Najee's a fantastic pass catching back, but Hampton at 6 foot 220, he can bruise. He's pretty damn fast. He can catch. They ran the ball the 12th most in the NFL last year, did the Chargers. I think they're going to open it up a little bit this year because they also bring in Trey Harris to pair with Ladd McConkey. I think that, I think Air Bear is going to throw the ball around a little bit more this year than he has in recent years. But again, 463 attempts on the table, a measly 4.1 because they really didn't have the air attack that they could have had. I think if they start to air it out a little bit more, I think that average could be a little bit higher. I think there's a lot of attempts there on the table for both of these guys. So I like Hampton this year. In redrafts, probably rounds 4 or 5. But for dynasty reasons, I mean, you're going out, you're getting this guy at the 1.2 for sure.
Is that his official combine score for speed? Pretty damn fast.
Pretty damn fast, yeah.
Pretty darn fast. All right, so we have a little time here, so we'll get into some sleepers. I know you previewed one earlier, Jay, but we're going to start with Rocky again. Do you have a sleeper for us in the running back class here?
I do.
Okay,
yeah.
who you got?
And that is, we already talked about his brother today, and that is Travis. But Trevor Etienne, I'm really interested with this guy. He doesn't jump off the page again, and it's really odd because he played 2 seasons at Florida, but always in a timeshare. And then he went to Georgia, where he was in another timeshare too. But there's a couple things I like about him. 5'10", 205. To me, his NFL comparison is K9. He is a decent receiving back, pretty good receiving back out of the backfield. What I love about him is he doesn't have all elite traits, but every single combine test, he was average or above average, and in some of them he excelled. In fact, he was 6th in yards, rush yards over expected per average, and he was tied for 2nd in the 10-yard split. So where he excels is quick side-to-side motion. He knows that he has a great first step. And he wasn't running behind a great line last year at Georgia. Georgia's offensive line rated out as the 45th best offensive line.
Did they really?
Yeah, which is not at all what you would think about Georgia. And I think it speaks
or any SEC team at all.
Right. And that's why I think why they didn't get as far in the playoffs as what we would have expected, and probably why Carson Beck transferred to another school. But
fire those scouts. Holy shit, 45th?
I think Etienne is going to be somebody who could be pretty interesting. He's in Carolina. It's a little bit crowded, but I don't buy fully yet Chuba. I don't
think they
fully
buy
him. Yeah, and I think
Well,
if
I
you
mean,
look
they
at the
did.
contract-
They paid for
But
him.
they paid him.
Yeah,
but
they
could
did,
get out of
but-
the contract pretty easily.
Yeah, and they get away with the dead cat money pretty quickly on it. So I'm curious about Etienne. I think he's going to be somebody who I'm taking. You probably pick him up super late.
Yeah.
He's an afterthought, and you stash him on your bench and see what happens.
Yeah,
Who
no,
you got, Jay?
I got Tootin. Mentioned him earlier.
Toot his own horn.
The dude's a blazer. 4.32. He's gonna be on special teams.
It's pretty damn fast.
Bar none, yeah. So he's gonna be involved in the team because he's going to be special teams. So they have LeQuint, or whoever you say his name. They did draft him, but he's more of a slow power back.
Yeah.
So this guy's gonna be able to hit a seam and be gone. He is gonna have a great opportunity if NTN gets traded, which some sources have put him as definitely a high potential. So hopefully, as long as it happens around training camp, since we're just doing the rookie camps right now, I mean, just speed. And they're really down on Tank. He had a shot last year and he didn't excel.
Yeah, and I think he fumbles a little bit too, right?
Yeah, so that's the talk right now. The talk is that they don't like Travis Etienne. I think it has something to do with work ethic and how he didn't have the season he should have had last year. They're not high on Tank because of the fumbling issues. So this to me, and this is the new regime that came in, right? So they want to clean house. They
not
want to bring in
loyal.
their own guys.
Not loyal.
So I think what they did is I think they got the Travis Etienne and Tootin, right? They got their guy that can catch out of the backfield, and then they bring in LeQuint Allen from Syracuse that is the bigger, probably goal line back. So I do like Tootin, and Tootin's been going higher and higher too in drafts.
He
And with
just
Travis, I think they want like a high, flashy offense. Like they want to put a mark on this team of, hey, we're gonna toss it around, we're gonna run it quick, we're probably gonna do a lot of kind of collegey maybe plays, bubble screens and stuff like that. That's a word. And I think that spells really well for a guy who can be
He
a
gives
burner.
me
Duval.
A-Chain vibes from a couple seasons ago. A-Chain.
Oh, A-Chain.
Couple seasons ago in Miami, he's a similar style runner, all speed. I think it could be kind of that you catch that guy at the right time, pick him up off waivers or draft him and he's on your bench and you ride him for 6-7 weeks where he's just killing it. So
I think he reminds me of Tyjae Spears, who is
fair too,
another guy that's going to have a pretty damn good season this year, splitting time with Tony Pollard. But I'd like to. I like the tangibles. I like what I'm hearing about. I'm telling you, out of the three backs, Etienne, Bigsby, and Tootin is now starting to go ahead of both of those other guys in redraft leagues.
What about intangibles?
Intangibles.
You like the intangibles?
Intangibles are the
nice guy.
unmeasurables.
I hear he's
I
got
like
really-
the tangibles. I
He's
like
just
the
like
ones
the
that are
tangibles.
measurables.
I hear he has really good manners.
Yes,
He reminds me of
intangibles are important.
a young Eric Metcalf.
Yeah.
Wow,
There we
that's
go.
very
That's a
insightful.
callback there.
Who you got?
All right, so I'm going to go with another Blazer. I'm going to go with just to show you this is how deep this draft was. A 7th round back that went to Kansas City, Brashard Smith. So he runs a 4.39 40 SMU product. Transferred to SMU his senior year, ran for like 1,500 yards, like 17 touchdowns, something ridiculous. 5.7 yard per carry average. He's 5'9", 194. He fits the mold of what Fat Andy looks for in running backs, stemming all the way back to Philadelphia, right? So he's your LaShawn McCoy. He's that back that can fly, that can catch the ball. I think we all have a warm spot with Pacheco, right? Because he's just a violent runner, a guy that you put on the field and he's going to fight for every last inch. Didn't pan out well last year for him, right? It led to injuries running violently like he does. Right now, the rumor is that Brashard Smith has a legitimate chance to take over the lead back role at some point this season in Kansas City. Kareem Hunt is all but an afterthought. I think they are going to run with Pacheco, and I think Brashard Smith. Again, here's a team that's got 450 attempts on the table. Obviously a passing team, but now that they have, they get Rashee Rice back, you have Xavier Worthy. They might keep Hollywood around. You have a team, and Travis Kelce coming back, obviously, too. You have a team that's going to throw
No,
the.
I'm sorry, he's retiring.
You have a team that's going to throw the.
bad.
You have a team that's going to throw the ball around the bunch, and that's going to leave the backfield. That's going to leave gaping holes for a guy that blazes to hit, and he catches the ball pretty damn well too. I really, really love where Brashard Smith ended up. I'm not saying go out and get him early. I'm getting him very late in my redraft leagues, but he's a great dude, especially in best ball, to just stick on your bench. Because at the end of the season, when you're battling through injuries, and now they're starting to play these guys that you're sitting on your bench that seem to just pop off at the end of the season, these are the types of guys that can win you best ball leagues at the end of the year.
And they might move Kareem Hunt to punter. It's always an option for him.
Wow. Looking forward to it. You guys brought it. Hey, good job, guys. I am a little disappointed. Nobody mentioned my guy, Cam Scatterball.
I love the. I love the kid. I love
The guy
kid.
had, now listen, he has a direct path to a role right away.
He does.
You know,
The only guy in front of him is a rookie from last year.
Would
He's
you
gonna
make
get-
him a
but who I
fullback?
really like though, that
No,
was
if
my
you were
issue.
them.
Is I really like Tracy from last
Tracy's
year.
good,
Yeah.
but Tracy, they brought him in. The way they're talking about him is that he's going to kind of be a tone setter and he's going to get goal line carries. I think he's not a guy you're going to start week in and week out, but he could be a flex option later in the season. He's going to get goal line touches.
I think Joe Schoen called him the next Saquon
Shane.
Barkley.
Shane.
I think he said this.
I
this-
love
We
Cam.
messed up
That's-
letting Saquon go, but this is the next
that's-
Saquon Barkley.
That's low hanging fruit. All right.
No, I
You're-
love
you're a
Cam. I
Bears
think
fan.
Cam is the guy that you're hoping. I think
DJ Swift.
I think he is the
Yeah,
guy
DJ
that
Swift.
you want to
DJ
see
Swift.
succeed in this league.
I always
You
call
do.
him DJ Swift.
I mean, he's
got heart.
He's got heart, like the albino
Miles and
rhino.
miles of heart.
Yeah. So.
Peyton Hillis 2.0. No,
Yeah.
I do think he's going to be.
Yeah.
Just saying. Latency, he's going to have a role this year. That's it.
This is one thing I will say, and it depends on you have to know the league that you're in, and most of our leagues that we're in, they separate rookies. They have a separate rookie draft. That's the hope because then you can really hyper focus on those. But I can tell you, in a lot of my leagues, I've traded trying to get extra second round picks, especially if it is a rookie draft, and I'm gonna in my hope is that I can rework my entire running back room with young, cheap running backs, hoping that one or two really break out, and then you got something.
And all these guys too that we're mentioning in these situations, especially Scatabo, these guys are an injury away from being an
full-time.
every down back, which is
they're
important.
out on Singletary too.
Yeah,
I mean, he's done after this year. He's
Which is
not-
crazy because they said that Singletary will replace Saquon's
He did for
productivity.
3 weeks.
So
Quality
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
But Tyrone Tracy was a good pick. So
Tyron.
Hindsight, so it was 2020. You never knew.
I said in the
Great pick.
preseason, Tyrone Tracy last year was going to be a guy, and
I
then
think
he
you
was.
and I both
I
hyper
think
focused.
you jumped on my after I
jumped on
said it,
nothing
but
to you.
you agreed with me, which is fair.
I liked Eric Gray too. I thought Eric Gray could have probably gotten another.
Special teamer.
Chance,
He doesn't. He can't change direction.
Yeah. He doesn't have that side to side
Yeah.
burst.
He could get in a straight line.
Oklahoma product. That's what they do out there.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. If you enjoyed the show, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified every time we put up a new episode. Follow us on all the socials at GON Podcast and find us wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Apple Music. That's Spotify. Guys on Draft. Guys on Sports. If you need help finding it, DM one of us. We'll help you and tell us what you want to know about. Go on our TikTok, comment under the photos, and tell us what we should talk about and call us out if we're wrong. We love the engagement. We want you guys to keep joining in and being part of the show, and we want to keep giving you the good content. So we love you. Peace.
See you.